Let's pray. Our gracious Lord and Heavenly Father, we thank you. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. It's such a beautiful day you've given to us. We are grateful for the opportunity we have to enjoy it. Lord, thank you for health and strength. Thank you for our Residents Association, for the board members, Lord, and the work that they do. Lord, for our residents here on campus, and we just thank you that we can gather together at this time and be here for this meeting. We ask your blessed presence to be with us, to guide us and direct us. We thank you, Lord, also for the privilege to live in the United States of America. In your holy name I pray. Amen. Will you join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
How's this? Hey, sounds good. I'm going to mess up the agenda and have Becky King come and talk a little bit about the medical alert system. She's got to go back to work. So I want Becky to be able to talk about it and have any questions you might have while Becky's here rather than waiting until the end of the program. Thank you, Becky, for coming over.
Good morning. Boy, that's loud. I'm Becky King. I think I know all of you. And West has always been my home, but don't tell the East people I said that. We're going to talk about the red alert system, and I'm going to just have this up here for a minute because it goes off quite frequently, so I don't want that to be picked up in the mic. This is what we use in the office. So often you may want to know how we get your red alerts. When you push the button, this is a relatively new button. Actually, I like it a lot. If you look real quick, I'm going to push it. Did you see it turn green? It does, but it does it real quick, so watch. Okay. I probably messed the whole system up right now. You also have, some of you have gray ones, but this is the newer one. So we carry this button to reset the red alert system, but what you would do, and this is so important that you know this, and we tell everybody, I'll tell you what our system is for new move-ins. If you have a gray button or a black button, those are the options. You have to push it till you see the light. On the gray, it takes a good 5 seconds. If the light does not come on, it will not go through. So if you just push it real quick and drop it, we're not going to get it. What happens then is it comes through a pager system. Your name and your apartment number is all put into a computer, and the computer is located in East. Your name pops up with your apartment or villa number, and that's how we know who's calling us via red alert system. I'm going to put this over here. When people move in, when we have new move-ins, the nurses are actually the ones who train them as to how to use that. And we also have a sheet of paper that has a picture of the red alert and where you push it. It's not rocket science, clearly, but we want to make sure that everyone knows how that works. Some of the questions that we get about the red alert system is, do I have to wear it? That is up to you. If you live alone, we really, really want you to wear it. Even if there's two of you, we prefer that you wear it. It comes in a necklace or a pendant, and it also comes kind of like, it almost looks like it doesn't look like an Apple Watch. It's not quite that cool, but it's you can wear it as a watch as well. So you can have either one. Each one of you have one. There's one that's given to each person. If you don't wear it and you fall, if it's on the kitchen counter and you're in the shower and you fall, it's not any good to anybody. So we can't make you wear it, but we would like for you to wear it, especially if you live alone. When you move in, we try to, educate you on that. If you are out of your apartment and you push it in the building, it should let us know that you need us. Many times we get false alarms because you might hit it on the side, putting your clothes on or doing something. They are waterproof, so you can wear them in the shower. We prefer that you don't wear it in the pool. All of the pools have red alerts. I believe the boat dock has a red alert. Tennis court has a red alert. We've tried to put red alerts in all the common areas. There's one in the back of this building. If you push the one that's back by Justin, it will come up multipurpose room, west multipurpose room. Does it work when I'm outside? I hear that all the time. I would say push it. I can't promise you it'll work because it works off of receivers and repeaters, and I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't know any more than that. But if you walk down the halls and you see on the walls, they're like kind of ugly boxes actually on the wall. That's how the red alert works. So if there's not a receiver or repeater, excuse me, when you are outside, if there's not one close by, it will not pick that up. Should you still push it? Absolutely. I would recommend if you're a walker and you are fearful that you would need a red alert, that you take your cell phone with you. Also, if you ever want to invest in an Apple Watch, not that I'm commercialing for an Apple Watch, but this one, I don't know, Erilyn, do you know where they start? Is the 8 the only one that? Right. Yeah, so Erilyn and I both have the 8 series, so it starts, I think, at 1 or 2. I got one for Christmas. She's had one. Actually, there's actually an apparatus on this that if you fall, this will call 911 for you. Actually happened to Erilyn, and she quickly turned it off as to not have 911 coming to get her. True story. Is there any other questions? I don't know that I've hit everything, but yes, sir.
Somebody give him a mic so this, if you don't speak into the.
If I push the red alert on my wrist when I'm in the dining room, do you know that I'm in the dining room or do you think I'm in my bedroom?
As it appears right now, do we know they're in the dining room? Okay, good. Justin, can you speak to that? If he pushes the red alert in the dining room, and does it come up that he's in the dining room or does it come up that he's in his apartment?
On our computers, Becky, it reads the nearest receiver, so it tells us the approximate location. So as you mentioned, receivers and repeaters, the most nearest one is the one that pings the signal.
Okay.
So if it was here,
It should pick up here. Should. And understand, and I know Erilyn doesn't care if I say this because there's nothing that's 100% proof. If you go out and buy a brand new one, it's not going to be 100% because nothing's perfect. So this is not perfect, but it is in the high 90 percentile. Years ago, this was before Erilyn came, they did all these tests, I believe it was under Tom Sutton. We did all these tests. We even went into apartments and went room to room to room. It was a nightmare doing it, honestly. It came out to be about 97% of the time that it worked. So that's not a bad percentage. So please, they're not perfect, but they do work, and they have many, many times allowed us to find you on the floor. So please use it.
somebody give Al a mic.
Becky, in regards to Jim's question, as you did with the wood shop, you came down and tested the wood shop to make sure that ours would go off in the wood shop.
Correct.
If there are more people than Jim that want to know that answer, what you did was you notified security or whatever that the alarm was going to go off. So if you call security and, like you did, have somebody there so that if you push it, you will find out your answer.
Correct. And if any of you, I would really encourage this, maybe not everybody at the same time on the same day, but I would encourage you, you can call me from your apartment. I would rather you call me from your apartment and let me test it in your apartment over the phone. It just takes a phone call. It's a quick thing. We can test it for you. We can reset it. So it's an easy thing to do. When you move in, what we do is we now go over, the nurses actually program them, which that's a little scary, but nevertheless we do. We're learning how to do that. We then give it to you and we explain it. We then come to your apartment, so we're not testing your red alert in my office, because if it works in my office but not your apartment, then it's no good to you. So we try to go up to everyone's apartment and test it there as well, but we can test any one of your red alerts at any time over the phone.
Wait for the mic. It's coming.
Wait for it.
So to sum up, if I'm in my apartment, it works. If I'm out in the hallways, it may or may not work depending upon where I am.
It probably will work because we have a lot of repeaters and receivers that's been put up. So I would say I'm pretty confident that it would work in the hallway.
At any location indoors.
Pretty much,
saying.
yes.
Outdoors, it probably doesn't work.
Possibly. Over at the
Probably or
boat.
possibly.
Well, over at the boat dock, it should, because there's a repeater or a
Right,
receiver
right.
over there. In the tennis courts, it should. They've possibly got something even at croquet. I have no idea, and I'm not going to ask that right now. But they're at the common areas outside. They've tried to accommodate that as well. So push it, yes. But if you're just walking around the lake, there's a good chance it's not going to work. But take it and push it, because we have had it work, and we've found people over there on the sidewalk on the ground. So please do it, even if you don't think it will work.
Thank you.
So Becky, if you are somewhere and push it and it works, but you can't locate us, what's the procedure? What do you do if you don't know where we are, but you know that we've...
Yeah, we usually look around to all of the places that you possibly could be to the best of our ability. And also, we'll go and see if your car's in the parking lot. I have had them trigger and go off when a person was not even in the state, but the red alert was up on their bedpost or whatever. So, you know, there again, it's a hard thing, but we do the best we can. We don't just say, oh well, she's not in her apartment, and we don't look anywhere else. We do look around.
Excuse me, just to make it clear, when you're not in your apartment, the signal that you pick up, assuming we're in the building, it kind of triangulates where we are in the building when it happens.
Should, yes, absolutely.
It should or it does?
If there's a repeater there, it does.
Okay,
If there's not, it probably won't.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
When will the alerts that are motion activated be in effect?
That I'm not sure of.
I think Erlen can talk to that when she does her, or maybe they're going to okay, she's going to answer.
So I-Building, they were the pilot building for the K4 installation. We have not decided a date on when we're going to go live for the entire community. As you know, Darren just started his new role as the IT specialist here on campus, and he's been working along with maintenance to install the rest of the motion sensors. So once all of them are installed, we'll make sure that they're operational, and then we will notify our residents with a go-live date. At that time, we will disengage the old buttons on the walls that you've been pushing, so.
Okay. Any other questions for Becky? Just a second. The mic is coming.
Yeah, two quick questions. One, is there any way to label those wristbands or monitors as to whose is who? Because my wife and I have them and they're identical, and we're afraid that we might get them mixed up.
And if you do, it doesn't matter, but yes, we can probably put something on the back. On the gray ones, we can with the Sharpie, but on the black ones, they're black, so nothing's gonna show up.
Yeah, we have the black ones.
Yeah, but I'm happy to come there and put something on the back for you, so you guys would know.
Okay. The other quick question is on this K4, is that what the Genrail people are doing with all the fiber optics?
No, I'm hearing no.
Okay. Now, just one other thing. I noticed in my garage, I believe it might be one of your repeaters. Is that by Philips and it's a Lifeline?
Yes.
Okay. Just
I
wanted
think
to
they're
check
probably
on.
in about every villa by now. Yeah. But one other thing I wanted to mention, if you happen to be at the pool, any pool, and someone were to become ill and you push their red alert, somebody could push the pool red alert as well. If you push 2 or 3 red alerts, it's just gonna come simultaneously, but that's gonna alert us in a better fashion. So you may wanna do that as well. Anybody
Okay.
else?
Thank you, Becky.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your time. Okay, we shall carry on.
One more
Pardon?
thing.
One more question, hang on.
Since there are so many people at croquet, and there is a repeater at the iPool, perhaps you'd have somebody check to see if it works on the croquet court, and if not, perhaps a repeater ought to be installed nearby.
Okay, the response was that Becky will check on it. I forget too, but if we don't speak into the mic, it doesn't get into the TV set, so people that are watching on 95 will not hear it. And that's why we're trying to make sure everybody speaks into the mic. Okay. The second thing I wanted to do was talk a little bit about some of the things going on. In your box, unless you happen to live in the H building, will be something, or if you happen to be, is there anybody here from East that's, okay? Because there are a couple of residents that live in East but are considered West residents, so at any rate. In your box will be, pardon? South Villas, thank you. My wife says the South Villas are the ones that are considered west. All the villas are considered west right now. So there you go. In your box, and Jack is going to make sure that everybody in H also gets this, is something called the Resident Board of Directors Survey. And what we're trying to do, and it's a very short, it's less than 1 page, there's plenty of room to write on it, is find out what we're doing right and what we ought to be doing differently and what your recommendations and suggestions are. There's 6 questions. One says, do you routinely attend? If you do, what are we doing right? If you don't, and this applies, and I really hope that you're able to convince a lot of the people that don't come to fill this out, because we want to know what we can do to increase attendance, what makes a difference in what we're doing. Question 3 talks about the structure. Right now, the board makes decisions and brings them back for information. Is this the way people want to continue working this way, or are there different other ways? The salad bar, there's a question there about the salad bar, which we used to have pre-COVID, do not have today, and we're wondering if we want to continue working with culinary. We know we're not going to get back the open salad bar, where you got a salad bar and you personally go and get it. The people in Georgia do have a salad bar, but it's a salad bar, it's a little bit like Subway, where you stand at the other side and say, these are the things I would like in my salad, and somebody, an employee, is the one that fixes your salad. Then we want to know how many people own a computer, don't own a computer, and whether you've got a printer. We don't have a printer. Jack says he can tell me how to do it, that can print the Express. So I go down at the start of every month and get a written copy of the Express. The Express is available in Diane's office. All you have to do is go and pick it up. So, and it's just like it was in the old days. And then the last question is, please fill in any ideas you got to make what we're doing better. And that's about it. I really hope we get a lot of response, because we're really your servants, as I see it. And we would really like to make the structure and everything as conducive to people feeling good about what we're doing and us being able to do what all the residents would like to do. So that's where we are with the Residents Association. I've got kind of some good news and some bad news regarding New to You. New to You, as you know, Al and Bonnie and a lot of other people have worked very hard, but they've really been a backbone of the New to You for a good period of time. They have asked to be relieved of that and have given me a 2-month notice. And so I'm going to take a look and try to get a group together to see how we can continue to have a viable New to You operation. While they were they asked the board if 10% of the revenue that they were collecting could go to the Samaritan Fund, and we felt that was, given that amount of work that they have done, that certainly for the money that they're doing right now, that we said that was fine. So, getting to the financials, I know I've talked about them. We had a bad year last year financially, as did a lot of people, not only in the operating fund, but in the stock market. I've got the first quarter, got it, I think I physically got it yesterday. I'm looking through it. It certainly would appear that we had a positive first quarter. And not only in the operating fund, but in the stock market, which is a good thing for all of us. So I wanted to comment on that. Let's see. I'm still trying to get a joint meeting with the East Board to see what we can do as far as combine things. I know the Hospitality Committee, the Building and Grounds Committee have had joint meetings with their counterparts over in East. I think the more we can do together, the stronger we're going to be. So, and I think particularly those committees getting together are going to produce some neat stuff. Brown bags, that was discussed at the last couple of meetings. We're looking for a place that works for everybody. The game room didn't work for people that wanted to use the game room. The hallway is a problem because of the table clogging up the hallway. Tim has indicated that they're going to give a whirl at the cart area. So, and he thought they'd be able to do that within probably this week or next week. So we're going to give that a shot. So those are the things that were brought up last month. So let us move over to the rest of the management report. Erlen, do you have? Pardon? Oh, hang on. Kathy appropriately said, we need to introduce the new residents, and we've got a few. Teres, you got, could the new, if you're a new resident and have not been introduced or introduced yourself, could you please stand up and we'll get you a microphone? Where are the? Okay.
What do I say? Oh, okay. I'm Tonya DeGroot. I'm in H. Oh, it's not on? It is. You just got to speak into it. Speak into it. Okay, I'm Tonya DeGroot. I'm in H and arrived about 2 weeks ago. And everybody has been very, very kind, and I really appreciate all that I've encountered, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Terence.
Did you want to introduce yourself? I did last time. Okay, I think that's it.
Anybody else that's brand new? I know we've got new people here, and we're glad to see you back for a second time. So there we go. Thank you, Kathy. Erlen, your turn.
Good morning, everyone. I don't have a lot. As you know, we have our Ask the Director meeting on Tuesday of next week. So that's the forum by which I'll do an overall campus, a campus update for you. Just wanted to touch base on a couple of things. And of course, welcome, Mr. Groot, to Indian River Estates. Nice to have you here. Becky mentioned some important things about, I'm sorry, there is a, I'm not crazy, there's something there. Becky did mention some important information about our red alert system. But what I did not hear, which is extremely important, if you do have an emergency of any sort, it's important for you to call 911. We don't have some of the equipment here to be able to, help you if you really do need a higher level of care. So if you think that, you're really experiencing something that's an emergency, it's important to call 911. If it's something that you think you might need help with, possibly getting up off the floor, you have a skin tear of some sort, you may be bleeding, you need help from, a wellness staff member, I would, of course, call them and then call 911 if you're not sure if it's an emergency. We do have budget time coming up. We are preparing our preliminary budgets starting this month. For those residents that have some desires or wishes, it's important to communicate that to your resident board members. We will be meeting, along with some other team members, will be meeting with the resident boards to discuss their wish lists. And I affectionately call it a wish list because we have priorities and then we have other things that you may wish for. And of course, we want to consider all of those things, but we have to prioritize it with the limited funds that we do have. So if you have anything, I'm looking around the room and I've seen a couple of residents that have something on their wish list. Make sure that you communicate that with your resident board. I am working with a couple of residents to replace a couch in our Warman library. That library was donated many years ago, so we're looking to replace the couch that's in there. So hopefully that will be done in short order. We do have community visits coming up, and during the community visits, we'll have senior management here. We'll walk through the entire campus, highlight some things that have been done, highlight some things that we think that we need for the campus, not just for the use of residents, but team members as well. That meeting will happen on June 22nd of this month, June 27th of this month. Some of your resident board members will be invited to a roundtable discussion during that time. So more to come. If you see us walking around, I just wanted you to be aware of who those people were. It will include probably Karen Christensen, Jonathan Grant, some of the senior leadership from Philadelphia. I did want to thank Al and Bonnie for their tireless work in New to You. I'm so sorry that you're making the decision to retire, which is what you're here to do, right? But I did have a brief conversation. Before Al and Bonnie, I believe there was Ellen Kowalik. Before Ellen Kowalik, there was Judy and Jim that ran New to You over here. We're hoping that we can find residents that are committed to continuing to run New to You. It really does fund some important wish list items that residents may have on campus. On the east side of the campus, we have Jane Brown, but the difference between their New to You and the New to You that's operated over here at West is they have upwards of 15 residents that help on a regular basis. So if we want to continue this, we don't want to, have it be a burden on, the shoulders of just a few. So please search your hearts and your time, if you have any time, to dedicate some time to the important cause. It does help clear out the apartments for residents that have passed on or have moved, transitioned into another part of the community. Sometimes they have family members that are out of town that can't come and help. When New to You is involved and they sell those items, it does fund some important wish list items, as I mentioned, but it also funds some important initiatives like the Samaritan Fund. So if you have extra time to be able to donate, please see your resident board president. And then I think that's it for now. Please come out on Tuesday to the Ask the Director meeting if you have time. We have one meeting at 9 a.m. over on the east side of the campus, and then on the west side of the campus, the meeting starts at 11 a.m. Does anyone have any questions related to what I mentioned, or? Yes. Bob?
Thank you, Erlen, for all that you do. I have a suggestion that might help at the attendance at our meetings and other events. We always write it down and put it on our calendars and so on, but oftentimes don't get back to look at it and don't think about it. And it's just like when the doctor's office calls us a day before to get us to come to the doctor's appointments. I suggest that the day before a meeting or an event, on the internet, you put out a reminder, tomorrow, Residents Association, 10:30. And I think that would tend to bring it right to the attention of the people and maybe get better attendance at some of these meetings.
Are you referring to our emergency red alert system? You said internet, what do you mean by internet?
I mean email.
Oh, email, gotcha.
Which
Okay,
comes over the internet.
yeah,
So in other words, a reminder each day before the meeting is going to take place that would go to everybody, for those of us who have forgotten or haven't checked our calendars, the way the doctor's office does it. It seems to me that would help our attendance at the meetings.
okay, I'll get with Therese, and if you, I'll,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Erlen, I don't know what the cost is in using the broadcast telephone system. There are many of us who do not have internet, so the telephone broadcast, same time period, the day before or the morning before a meeting, would certainly help jog the memory of a lot of our residents who do not have internet service.
Yeah, we use that system for, and it's called Code Red. It's for emergency, mass communication. So we'll talk more about how maybe I can get the message out to the masses.
We were talking about what the new to you funds. If you turn your agenda over and you look at the asset list at the bottom, I've checked off the ones that new to you funds. The Art Guild, the Gala, Samaritan Fund, the Hospitality Committee, Interior Design, Landscaping, Library, Operations, and Woodworking all receive money from new to you. It's invaluable.
It really is. Thank you, Jim. All right, if no one else has any questions, I'm gonna step out, okay? If there's anything else that you might need, of course, Chuck will let us know. Thank you so much.
Okay. Reminds me, though, when she said, get in touch with the Resident Association. The Resident Association box is right across from the administrative office. The surveys that you're filling out, we would like them put there. If you have suggestions or questions or anything, don't be afraid to put something in that resident box. We look at it. I just want to let people know where it is, because I've been asked that before. Again, it's right across from the administration office. There are 3 boxes there. One of them says Resident Association. So the surveys, that's where they need to go. But any questions, as Erlen said, can also go there, and they will be seen and they will be taken. We will respond to them. So, Therese, your long list of great activities.
Everyone's a little taller than me. Good morning. Okay, so we had a great graduation ceremony yesterday. I thought hats off to Culinary. They were adorable, weren't they, some of them? And anyway, you can see that recording. I recorded it on Monday, the 12th of June. It'll be at 2 and 7 o'clock on Channel 95. So we are collecting wine corks. I still don't know why, but we're collecting them for a important project over at East. And there's a container in the office, and you can give it to Diane. Just drop your corks in there, if you got them. There will be a new to you at West this month, but as we know already, we do not have a date yet. So, but we will keep you posted via the internet. And, we have put plenty of signs on the walls in the lobby. So you'll know, but the location will be G201. And also, while we're on that topic, this month, at the end of the month, over at East is going to have their big New to You preview party, which will be at 4 o'clock, and that fills up very fast. So you have to sign up quickly if you want to get on it. And then they have the big summer sale, like they have the Christmas sale, and they have all fun mystery bags, and they have auctions, and they have all kinds of fun stuff. So that will be from 10 to 2. And that will be at the East MPR on Thursday, the 29th. So 28th, preview party, 4 o'clock. 29th, Thursday, at 10 to 2 is the big summer sale, if you're looking for some bargains. Okay, back to our schedule. So Jim Shorner gave me some bridge lessons and locations postings. You'll see them on the big board out there if you're interested in learning. I know some people told me they were interested in learning. So there's all information on that board if you want to go look at it. Tomorrow is Love of Pause, and I brought that up before. It's not about fostering or adopting pets. Don't get excited. It's an organization that assists seniors when they need help with their pets in times of crisis. So they don't have to worry if they have to go to the hospital or for some reason can't care for their pet. And I also noticed, I was in Fellsmere, and I noticed they have one of their buildings over there in Fellsmere. So he'll be here tomorrow at 10 o'clock. He's a very nice fellow. And I'm sure I get that right, 10, yep. And I think we don't have too many signed up for it, so come on down, because, you know, down the road you might find out some interesting info. Okay, so Monday, the 12th at East is the FLICRA Legislative Forum. So I think East and West residents are both interested in that. Senator Erin Grohl, she lives across the street, I believe, and I've listened to her before, she's wonderful. And she is our state senator, which, that's great. And the state representative, Robert Brackett, will be here to highlight the recently completed 60-day legislative session, and they will answer questions about bills that affect seniors and other areas of general interest to you. I, of course, recorded the last one, and it's worth coming to. It's really interesting. I learned a lot. So Tuesday, the 13th, is Ask the Director, and that's at 11. Let me just make sure. Yes, 11. And then we have as birthday night, our famous birthday night, and we will have Carla Holbrook singing in the West Lobby at 4:30. We'll be having hors d'oeuvres, and if the hospitality committee permits, we will be having a little wine available. Friday, we've had it here before, but for newcomers, if you want to go over to East on Friday, the 16th, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump over there. They have in their MPR at 10 a.m. on Friday, they have a identity theft talk. So the sheriff's department comes in and they give you some good tips on not to get fooled with everybody who's trying to get our money these days. Okay, so Romeo's, not too many people signed up here. Any newcomers, men that would like to go out to have a nice lunch with some other men in the campus? That is leaving at 11:15, and they are going to, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's Bummers? Is that the name of it? Is that it? I think so. Bummers? Okay. I hope it's not a bummer going there, but you should have a good time. They always do. And we have East residents go as well, so it's East and West. You get to meet everyone. Okay, then we have Friday, June 16th here in the West MPR. FLICRA's busy this month. The West FLICRA meeting, all members welcome to vote to ratify laws for a unified East and West chapter. So that's important. So that will be here on Friday, the 16th at 3:30 p.m. Then that Friday evening, I'm going to have RJ. He hasn't been here. Have you noticed he hasn't been? He's went away on vacation. He's from Nova Scotia, so he went on a little journey to visit his son, and he'll be back to take your request for music, and he'll be at 4:30 in the lobby. So I do want to let you know, if anybody's interested, because I do have some people that are interested, I'm putting out a sign-up for the 20th for Tuesday Night Out, Scampy's Grill Bus at 4:45. So that will go out right after the meeting. So if you're interested, I'm putting the Schneiders on there, and I'm putting Kate on there. So there'll be some more spots if anybody's interested in going. Okay, now the longest day. This is happening Wednesday, the 21st. So this is the day that National Alzheimer's Association chooses to honor those affected by the disease. We always support that every year. I am currently making a raffle basket for that, another one. And then we will be having 3 events that day. So probably this afternoon, I'm going to work on putting a table out there. You'll see a purple tablecloth. The raffle basket won't go out just yet. We'll need volunteers to help, volunteers selling the tickets. All the money goes to the Alzheimer's Association, which is a great cause. Plus, that morning, at 9 o'clock, we're going to have a wellness walk. So if you want to participate in that, that's always great. It'll be 9 o'clock out in front of the East, where that sign is when you're first coming into the East lobby. You'll see the sign over there. Also, we're having a well-being fair. Now, that's going to be a fun fair. I got a lot of free giveaways. We're going to have a lot of booths. It's how to beat the heat in the summer. So it's basically going to be called Well-Being Fair, but it's going to give you all tips and suggestions and tell you how you can beat the heat. And there'll be there's going to be a lot of tables, and I can't even go over all the names of the tables right now. But there will be a raffle basket. You'll get a ticket when you come in. You can win a raffle basket out the door. There'll be free food. And like I said, we'll have sunglasses and flashlights and sunblock, and we have a lot of other giveaways to give out. So that'll be fun, and that'll be from 10 to 12, right in here. Okay, last time we did it east, it'll be here this time. And then finally, at 2 o'clock, there'll be yoga with Elise in here. So we'll wrap it up at 12, and then you can come to, if you feel like getting some exercise, yoga with Elise at 2. Lunch Bunch is that Thursday, the 22nd. It's going to Mulligan's. Plenty of room to still sign up for that. Mulligan's, it'll be in the Mulligan's in Sebastian. And the bus will be leaving at 11:30 for that from the West Lobby. Let's see. Okay, food forum, unless it's changed, will be at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, the 27th here. For some reason, I have a feeling that might change. Okay, so I had a feeling it might change. There we go. I'm going to go over that with him because that really isn't the date that we always use, but I think I just had to get it on the calendar. So I'll go over the time and the date just to make sure, and it'll be posted out there. Thrive screenings will be on Wednesday, the 28th. I already went over the new to you parties. And then finally, wrapping up June, we're going to have a concert here at 7 o'clock. Well, actually, I was just told this morning, we're going to have a home health presentation in here, probably around 1 o'clock in the West MPR. So if you're interested in finding out what home health has to offer, come on down for that. That'll be at 1. Then at 7, we'll have William Citron. He's been here before. He does like, the Frank Sinatra type of show, and he's very good. And he'll be here at 7, and we're going to try to have a dance floor out for you. Then Friday, that final Friday, the 30th, David Kujat will be playing the sax. He's always great. I like his music. He'll be here in the lobby at 4:30. And then Harry will be doing a presentation at 7 o'clock in here. And that he will be doing it on another New York singer-songwriter from yesteryear. It's all posted out. I think his name is Frank Lassiter, if I'm saying it right. And that's it. And then I'll be on vacation for a week, so you won't see me the first week in July. Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys. Any questions? Okay, I guess someone's got to get you a mic. You have a mic up here?
Any news on the Kravitz for next year? Because I think the tickets come up for sale this month.
Yeah, she has been in contact with them. She knows that we want to go, the woman that is handling the sales. We had a huge interest sheet. A lot of people want to go, and I believe it's happening. So as soon as I find out, as soon as she finds out and I find out, you'll find out, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. That's it? Everybody? Okay, have a good one, thanks.
Okay, George, do you want to come up and say a few words about Flight Crew?
Yes. Good morning, y'all. Well, Trez and Chuck did it again this month, but I'm going to emphasize it anyway. We had a good meeting in May when we had Bennett Napier here. And I really appreciate you coming to that because he gave us a real good insight into the hurdles and gauntlet that you need to go through in order to get a law passed. And when you think about the fact that there was probably 270 laws that were passed this past session, and there were probably 1,600 put out there to be passed, so not that many passed. You got to go through a lot of hurdles. So it'll be very interesting next Monday to come to the East MPR for the Fleicher-sponsored legislation forum, because we'll have our brand-new senator, who is familiar with Tallahassee because she was a representative, and a brand-new representative, Aaron Grawl and Robbie Brackett, respectively. There will be a bus or transportation. I'm not sure if it's going to be a car or a bus. If you signed up to go, put a little B behind your name so Kathy knows how many people are interested in the transportation. The transportation will leave here about 9:40, and the program will begin at 10 o'clock. So that's next Monday, June the 12th. Now I appeal to you, almost beg you, to be here in this room at 3:30 on June the 16th. That is the day that the Fleicher membership will vote on whether to put Fleicher East and Fleicher West together in one chapter. This has been going on for a long time, and finally, I think good sense was able to override the personalities involved. It makes a lot of sense that we coordinate effort, that we stabilize the organization so that it speaks with one voice, especially when you're playing defense, and many of the initiatives in Tallahassee do require defense. Yes, there's offense, but there's defense, especially when bureaucrats or legislators decide that we should pay a bed tax or a meal tax. There's got to be good defense on that. So I think we can do it better if we are together in one, but I appeal to you to be there on the 16th at 3:30, and there's a sign-up sheet, and if you sign up, please come. Tim will have a cheese tray and so forth, and Fleicher will supply some wine for you to enjoy. But mostly, we in West have a quorum requirement in our bylaws. East doesn't have that, but West does. I might also mention that the East and West boards have both unanimously approved common bylaws, and they have both unanimously approved coming together in one Fleicher IRE chapter. So that is June the 16th. Another thing that we are planning way down the road is to have Bill Posey here in November, December. I've talked with his assistant yesterday morning, and he's looking for a date to do that. Tomorrow, maybe this afternoon, but most probably tomorrow, I'll put the new connection in everybody's cubby. Now, I mentioned a few months ago that I see some people throw them away. Do not do that. Read this. There's good information there. And this month, there's information that basically goes over and summarizes, in maybe a little bit more detail than what Bennett did, the changes in 651. I might mention, because if you do read this, you're going to say, boy, that's not what George said in May. It identifies the fact that our representative one, is to be invited to attend and participate in a meeting that has to do with changes in fees and services. When I read this morning, I immediately contacted Bennett because he left off services, which is important, and he left off the idea of attend and participate, not just be notified of, but attend and participate. That's the law. So, any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Hearing none, thank you very much.
Okay. I reemphasize everything he said. We do want to conclude getting the Fikers together. And if you haven't been to one of the legislative forums, they are really quite good. And even more than that, if we have a full house, the legislators understand that there's a lot of votes. So that when we go to them, which we do, about various things like don't add a bed tax, it's important that they know how strong Indian River Estates is and what we represent. So,
and doubly so, it's in the east, and I would like to see the room filled because this will be the first time that State Representative Brackett will see us. And so, and I want that in his mind that we are important.
okay, Sally is not here, so minutes, Bob's been good enough to take them. Does anybody have any problem with Sally's minutes from last month? I'll pass the mic. Oh, you've got a mic over there. Jack?
Anybody wants to talk to me about the financials, why don't you see me after the meeting?
Okay. There any other questions, people? Does anybody have anything that they want to raise? I know time's moving along. So is there anything else that we haven't covered or that we have covered that anybody wants to talk about? If not, we're done. Motion, I don't think we, huh? No, we're adjourned. Bye.